So it's been a little while since we've launched a new miniseries here on Gaming Off the Grid. Today is the beginning of Console Madness. We are going to pit every console in our game room against one another in a single elimination tournament to see which console reigns supreme. In today's episode, we are pitting the SEGA Saturn versus the N64 and the Nintendo Entertainment System against the Xbox 360. What are we drinking today?
We're drinking Oddly Hazy by Oddfellows Brewing Company. This is our first homebrew.
New miniseries. First time we've reviewed a homebrew. This should be exciting. You know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and welcome to the first episode of Console Madness.
Welcome to Gaming Off the Grid. Boom shakalaka!
All right, the unique thing about this bracket is that we have to come to a consensus.
Yeah, it's gonna be so tough.
And we've said before on the channel, we're from two different generations. I was born in '86, you were born in '94.
Yep.
So our perspectives of the video game landscape we have just two different launching points.
It's gonna be so weird, and I feel like some of these are gonna be easy. Some of them are going to be super hard, and I love that it's random. So it could be a 32-bit console versus a new console.
Yeah.
And how do you decide who wins? This is going to be so hard.
At the end,
fun.
we're not going to get a rank order of our favorite consoles of all time, but we'll get collective what we feel the best console of all time is.
So, based on this bracket.
Let's jump in. Speaking of your lifetime, you would have been between 1 and 2 years old when we go into this first battle. We have the SEGA Saturn versus the N64.
Damn.
For some reason, these consoles kind of feel similar to me. This is going to make somebody mad and ruffle some tail feathers, I'm sure. But outside of what I feel would be like the best 15 games on the consoles, there's not much meat on the bone.
Yeah, they both kind of are just like blah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both really cool consoles. They have really cool games. And N64 was the first console I ever owned. And also, I don't know if this counts for anything, but the N64, all the different color variants, like that has to count for something.
Yeah, the controllers and stuff, that is pretty cool. It's kind of a cosmetic thing, but yeah, chuck one up for the N64. I think they both fall into that camp too when you go back and play them for the most part. Now, the Saturn has some really good shmups and shooters on it. They're beautiful. Time passing can't stop them from looking beautiful. You know, both of them were on the forefront of kind of some of that 3D polygon type technology, so when you look at it now, it's kind of like, ugh!
They were trying new things, and I get it, and a lot of the games were revolutionary. The N64, so it was my first console ever. I have huge nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
At least, I used to. Going back and playing some of the games, I'm kind of starting to be like, okay, the N64 isn't as good as I thought it was, and I'm looking at you, Mario 64. That game kind of ruined the 64 for me.
I think you gotta kind of look at this of like, whatever one's eliminated, hypothetically, we would never be able to play it again.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna say collectively, I'm thinking we're probably on the same page here. I think the N64 has to win this battle.
I was thinking that when we sat down to film, but then when you brought up the shmups,
yeah,
I was like, okay. Is the N64? Is there shmups on that? I don't think so.
There's kind of the 3D, shooters like Star Fox and things like that. But you got the 32-bit versus 64, but it's CD-based versus cartridge-based, so the Saturn could run a few things better, arguably. I just think the four-player co-op, we would be eliminating the THQ wrestling games.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie.
GoldenEye. Just even if you're thinking four-player...
Hydro Thunder. I think I will have to agree with you. I think N64 does win. Even though the shmup thing is so important to the Saturn.
Yeah.
But it could be too, because I don't know that much about the Saturn, to be honest. I've only played it a couple times. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just biased.
We've had one. Neither one of us grew up with one. We've had one for a little over a year. When we put it in and play it,
oh, that's awesome.
We have a good time. But that being said, we've only got a fistful of games, that we go back to. We don't go back to the N64 a ton, but when we do, we tend to have a good time. It's usually a party gaming type of session. Lots of nostalgia. I know it was your first console you ever played. Me and my brother getting one for Christmas. I don't see how we could not have the N64 as the winner.
I think as much as I don't want to say that Mario 64 is a winner, the N64 is a winner, and I think it does beat the Saturn.
So the first battle, the winner is advancing to the next round, the Nintendo 64.
Oh, now let's move on to the next bracket.
And the winner of this next one has to face the N64 in the next round, which will be in an episode down the line.
Dude, this is getting out of control.
Yeah.
For the next one, the Nintendo Entertainment System versus the Xbox 360. How do you compare those?
Yeah, well, this is where
God.
this is going to get really fun because we're not comparing apples and apples. We're comparing watermelons and basketballs or something.
They're the same size.
Yeah, well, we're in a different, complete galaxy with these two consoles. So the NES launched in 1985. It is the most formative console for how the gaming industry's trajectory went. I think it's a foundational piece. Honestly, it's the first console I ever played.
It was the first I ever played too, and I'm from a different generation.
Yeah, and you look at how much do you go back and play a console, like how much life does it have post-commercial life, right?
It has so much.
To think maybe you could never play an original NES again. Now, you also got to be thinking console exclusives because, you know, there are other consoles on here that can play NES games through emulation in this thing.
Yeah, but Punch-Out! I know you can obviously play the new the old school Mario games.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, you know, like the Switch has the NES app, which is super cool. The NES is badass, but Punch-Out! Is a game that you can only play original. I mean, there's a lot of ones on there. But then the 360, I know it's huge for online gaming, and that's kind of gone.
Yeah.
But LAN parties.
Yeah, it is huge for that, but I mean, you look, we could still do them on original Xbox, PS2. We could still, there's workarounds there.
Yeah, but like Halo.
Yeah.
Gears of War.
I mean, yeah, this is a tough
Call
one.
of Duty. I mean, it's tough because Xbox 360, I remember when that came out, and that was such a big deal. I'm not saying the NES it wasn't a big deal, but I just wasn't around for it.
Yeah.
The Xbox 360 was revolutionary. Like the PS3, Xbox 360, that whole era was revolutionary.
Yeah, it kind of really put the stake in the ground for online gaming. You know, I kind of feel like in the PS3 and 360 era, this is just my personal opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like not all, but a lot of the games that the most gamers play, they are isolated to that area. So meaning you always bought the new Call of Duty, you always bought the new Madden, you always bought the new Halo even, right? You know, once you got Halo 3 and 4, were you going back and playing Halo 3 after you got Halo 4? I mean, hardcore people, yes. I'm talking average gamer.
That is true. So once you got the new Xbox and backwards compatibility.
Exactly. So that's where I'm,
okay.
I'm looking at some of the pillars on the NES as being, those are games you would always go back and want to play. Like, for the frequency of what we have played as a channel, I gotta say the NES is the winner here. It's a hard one.
I think the NES 2 is the winner because that probably is one of the most played consoles in the game room.
Yeah.
We play it all the time.
We play it in the garage.
We play it 2-player, we play it 1-player. There's so many. We keep discovering new games that are badass on the NES. I love the 360.
Yeah, so do I. Honestly.
This is so hard. And, oh man, but the NES.
But you just gotta be, I mean,
And also, like, okay, this is another thing to bring into consideration. That generation, 360, PS3, they're known to fail. They fail so easily. Dude, the NES, you can fix it so easily. You can find controllers for dirt cheap. And that thing is built to last.
Yeah.
So, like, say we eliminate the 360, the NES is still going to work in 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
If we eliminate the NES.
Cartridge-based stuff seems to be more stable, less moving parts, things like that. I think that's a really good point. I also just feel like if you walked into the game room tomorrow, and I had just got rid of the 360 but left the console cover over there, it might take you a while to notice. I feel like if I did that with the NES, a couple days go by, you'd be like, where the hell's the NES at?
Yeah. I'd be like, where is it? I want to play freaking Dr. Mario.
As much as I do like the 360,
the 360's badass.
I'm right in the heart of a season in Fight Night Round 4, and I love it. I think this is kind of a landslide battle.
I think so too, and like, this is weird, because NES wins. But when we first started, I was like, this is going to be hard.
Yeah.
But when you dive down, it's like, that wasn't actually that hard.
So the NES moves on. So in the next round, it will face the N64. But we won't be getting to that round for a while.
Yeah, because we got to keep going through the first round.
Yeah, so the first round will continue in the next episode, and we have the Nintendo Switch versus the Sega Dreamcast.
The Nintendo Wii versus the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my god.
It's going to be a battle.
Dude,
blood will be shed.
I'm nervous to debate the NES and N64, but I think I already know who's going to win. I already know.
Yeah, I mean, that one will be down the line. But yeah, those next ones are coming in hot on the next episode. Man, this is a lot of fun. We have, how many consoles total do we have on this?
12 consoles.
12 consoles are going to duke it out in this series. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of content, and we're just going to be shooting the shit. It's an awesome debate because you guys are going to be able to flood the comments below and tell us,
tell us we're wrong.
No, guys, you fucked up.
Yeah, and bring up points that we forgot, because we're just shooting from the hip. Bring up like, oh, you forgot this, oh, you didn't bring up this. Sorry.
We do everything unscripted here, so this is the raw reaction of how this goes. We literally generated the bracket 2 seconds before we started filming. So
let's talk about this beer.
yeah, so a very unique beer. We have never done a home brew.
This is the first home brew we've ever done.
And you're connected to the brewer behind this.
Yes, so my first boss ever at a grocery store at the bakery, he found our channel. He home brews now. He sent us some beer. This is a New England IPA, oddly hazy, comes in at 7.5%. It was canned July 26th. We're drinking this at the beginning of August, so it's really fresh.
A couple weeks out.
I'm not very experienced with homebrew beers, and like at first I'm like, oh, it's not going to be as good as regular beer.
Yeah.
Because it's not commercialized. But this is really good. This is
Fellows Brewing Company. It's small. You're not going to be able to probably get this.
But holy crap, this is a beer that I think everyone would like. This is a fantastic summer beer. It has a nice hazy, juicy element, slight IPA taste, but not super aggressive. Dude, this is incredible. I don't even know how to make beer, but impressive.
So this is full disclosure, this is my second rendezvous with this beer, because when I pulled this out of the shipping container, one can had taken some damage in shipping, and as I pulled it out, it fell and hit the floor and was like psh! So I hurried up, grabbed the glass, put it upside down, just let it like do its thing, put it in the fridge, and then I drank it like an hour and a half later because I forgot. And it was a little flat. But I told Robert before we opened this, I'm like, dude, it was really good, and I think I wasn't drinking it like in its best quality. Yeah. And I still feel like this is an awesome beer.
This is incredible.
What's your boss's name?
Jed.
Jed,
man, good job.
Thank you, dude. And so awesome that you guys reconnected
it's
all
so
these years later. Yeah.
And dude, keep brewing, please, because this is so good.
Dude, if you're loving it and you're passionate about it, you got a talent, dude. At least with this beer. Would love to try some of the other things you have going on, but we really appreciate it. And it's really cool how like this social media YouTube thing
just brings people together,
it does.
guys.
It's a unifier,
community.
and this community is awesome, and we are so happy to be here. Again, in the comment section below, let us know your thoughts on the battles and the results from this episode. This series will continue. It's going to be awesome. We have 12 consoles. There are 6 left to battle it out in the first round. We will come out of this with one ultimate supreme console that you must have in your collection, because it's going to be the one that we can't part ways with.
And I have no idea at this point in the series what it's going to be. I have no idea.
The way these matchups shaked out in the first round, we both looked at it and we're like, oh fuck.
This entire thing's going to be hard.
It's going to be really tough. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for sticking with us through the first episode of Console Madness. We'll see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
we need a title. Whatever we say now is permanent.
Console Madness.
I kind of like that because it's like March Madness, sports, you know.
Right. Thank you for sticking with us through the first episode of The Console Wars. Is that what I call it? Console Madness.
Console Madness.
It is time for a new mini-series. It's been a while since we've started one.
I'm so excited.
This is going to be... what are we going to call this? So it's been a little...
Just blood.